Circles. The set of all points x, y in a plane that have a distance r from a fixed point, called the center of the circle. The equation of a circle with the center at 0, 0 is x squared plus y squared equals r squared. The equation of a circle with the center at h, k is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. The equation of this circle is x squared plus y squared equals 16. We know this because the center is at 0, 0 and the radius is 4 units. And 4 times 4 is 16. Ellipses. A set of all points P in a plane such that the sum of the distance between P and two fixed points called the foci is a constant. To graph an ellipse, you need vertices, co-vertices, center, and foci. The major axis joins the vertices. The minor axis joins the co-vertices. The foci of an ellipse are located c units from the center on the major axis when a squared minus b squared equals c squared. For an ellipse centered at 0, 0, the equation is x squared over a squared plus y squared over b squared equals 1 if the major axis is horizontal. The vertices will be at a, 0 and negative a, 0, and the co-vertices will be at 0, b and 0, negative b. If the major axis is vertical, the equation will be x squared over b squared plus y squared over a squared equals 1, with vertices at 0, a and 0, negative a. The co-vertices would be at b, 0 and negative b, 0. Is x squared over 16 plus y squared over 9 equals 1. We know this because a squared equals 16, because the vertices are 4 units away from the center. The b squared term is 9, because the co-vertices are 3 units away from the center. The foci are located at the square root of 7, 0 and the negative square root of 7, 0. We know this because 16 minus 9 equals c squared, so c equals the square root of 7. For an ellipse centered at h, k, the equation would be x minus h squared over a squared plus y minus k squared over b squared equals 1 if the major axis was horizontal. Hyperbolas. The set of all points P where the difference of the distances from P to the two foci is a constant. To graph a hyperbola, you need center, vertices, foci, and equations of asymptotes. The foci of a hyperbola are located c units from the center of the major axis, where a squared plus b squared equals c squared. The slope of asymptotes is found by the positive and negative value of the square root of the denominator of y over the square root of the denominator of x squared. Use point-slope form to find the y-intercept. The vertices, center, and foci are located on the transverse axis. For a hyperbola with a center at 0, 0, the equation is x squared over a squared minus y squared over b squared equals 1 if the transverse axis is horizontal. The asymptotes would be y equals plus or minus b over a x. The vertices would be plus or minus a, 0. If the transverse axis is vertical, the equation would be y squared over a squared minus x squared over b squared equals 1, with the asymptotes being y equals plus or minus a over b x. The vertices would be 0, plus or minus a. The equation of this hyperbola is y minus 3 squared over 4 minus x plus 1 squared over 25 equals 1. We know this because the center is at negative 1, 3. The vertices are 2 units away from the center, so that means that a is 4, 2 squared. We also know that the asymptotes are plus or minus 2/5. That means that it's 2 from the square root of 4 over the square root of 25, 5. So b equals 5 and b squared equals 25. The foci is negative 1, 3 plus or minus the square root of 29. We know this because 4 plus 25 equals 29, and the square root of 29 is the square root of 29. Parabolas. The set of all points equidistant from a point called the focus and a line called the directrix. To graph a parabola, you need the directrix, the focus, the vertex, and the axis of symmetry. The distance from the vertex to the focus is the value of p in the equation of the parabola. For a parabola with a center at 0, 0, The equation is x squared equals 4py if the transverse axis is vertical. The focus is 0, p, and the directrix is y equals negative p. For a transverse axis that is horizontal, the equation would be y squared equals 4px, and the focus would be p, 0, with the directrix being x equals negative p. This graph has an equation of x minus 3 squared equals negative 4y plus 2. We know this because the vertex is 3, negative 2. The focus is 3, negative 3 because negative 4 equals negative 4p, so p must equal negative 1. So the focus is negative 1 units along the transverse axis from the center. The focus is 3, negative 3. The directrix is y equals negative 1 because it is 1 unit in the opposite direction of the focus from the center.